rockets. She just leans outside of an airplane.
Oh, hell
and
yeah.
starts
Yeah.
tagging missiles, rockets with flares. Perfect shots. And then Monroe Kelly joins her.
The plane is flying and she kicks open the door.
Yeah.
Just kicks it open. And then Ernie Hudson looks up and goes, oh, there's something cool is happening. I'm not being a part of it. I'm going to go over and be a part of it too.
Yeah. And then the two of them are just tagging perfect shots. Like, yeah, perfect, right? I mean, they could not be any more imperfect. Like, exact three. Like, they just blow up rockets. But I just love that kind of the economy to her character. No nonsense. She goes to the jungle. She takes care of business. She does not like Dylan Walsh or that the monkey. I mean, the monkey's throwing stuff at her. She doesn't have to like her. Or the ape. I apologize, guys, that I'm using the wrong terms. So don't hate me for that. Amy. But I don't know. Like, when do we ever see... Like, that's such a cool, rare character. And I'm not saying that this is part of our soggy saga, but there is a hippo attack. And Bruce Campbell swims... So there is kind of a soggy element to this. And lava is wet.
I'm not going to agree with you that lava is wet.
But you know what I mean. It's hot. It's melted. So I mean,
it's kind of liquid, I suppose.
Yeah, there it is.
It's fluid. It's fluid.
Hey, there you found the right word.
But there's all this stuff in the river and the hippo attack. My problem with Congo is there's not enough memorable set pieces, and I feel like the hippo attack could be a memorable set piece. Yeah. But it's underused. It's so quick. All the little actiony scenes are just over so quickly. Mm-hmm. And I needed more to be done with the hippos. I love hippos when they're attacked in films. I love just watching videos of hippos eating watermelons. So if you've seen those, but it's terrifying. Just like the power in a hippo's jaw is daunting.
Wow.
It's just watching them attacking hippos. Like, oh, these people are all doomed. There's no one's going to survive this.
And those hippos are amazing looking. So you see the videos and the behind the scenes. They built these hippos, and they're beautiful. And we don't see enough of them. And we don't see enough of the badass apes. And you know, Stan Winston complained. He's like, we spent so much time making these things realistic looking, and all they did was quick shots of them jumping around, and then they put us in a red cave that does not highlight. Like, if I knew our monkeys were going to be in a red cave, I would have made them our apes were in another color. I would have made, if I knew they were in a red cave, I would have done something different. And so Stan Winston said between the set design and the actual editing, he said that's why the monkeys look terrible. He's like, if they would have been in the woods or a dark cave, they would have looked beautiful. So I don't know what you think about that.
I can see that. I can see it being a director or production decision, not consulting the special effects department. I mean, bear in mind this is directed by, was it Frank Marshall?
Yeah, Frank Marshall.
And he's more of a producer than a director. Mm-hmm. So he worked on Jurassic Park. He worked on the greatest film of all time, and then kind of thought, oh yeah, I can do that, and just took another Crichton property and thought, hey, I'll just do the same thing. But he didn't realize that he's not Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
No one is.
I tell you what though, he had a couple good ones. I really liked Alive, and he did Arachnophobia too.
He did, yeah. There's some good to Arachnophobia. I've not seen Alive, but I guess as a producer, not gonna seek it out.
This movie didn't have a big budget either. It was about...
It's 50?
Yeah, that's not terribly large.
It's not, but if you compare it to Jurassic Park, which I do with everything, it's only 15 million less.
Yeah,
it looks like a lot less than 50 million less than Jurassic Park.
Here's the thing with Spielberg, though, because I've worked with some people that have worked with him, and like when you work with Spielberg, he shoots very fast, and so that's less days, and everybody who works with him, you just have to be at the top of your game. You just have to be, everything just has to be boom, 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 boom. If Spielberg's waiting on you, he's going to smush your head. So I think Spielberg can get that stuff done for $65 million because you're working for Spielberg. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So, but Frank Marshall should know how to keep budgets down since he produced, Gremlins, Raiders, Warriors, Goonies, Empire of the Sun, Last Crusade, Back to the Future, Cape Fear, Sixth Sense, Signs, Bourne Identity, Seabiscuit, Bourne, Benjamin Button. So I guess he's produced everything, so I guess you could keep it down.
And he's produced a lot of Spielberg's films as well. Mm-hmm. So there should be some cachet with just carrying that over.
And that's how that's how he got Stan Winston on this project. Because Stan was like, I don't think I can do good monkeys. And he's like, well, I guess or apes. I guess I can prove to the world that I can. And at the end of the day, he said that he failed Stan Winston. That's crazy. Imagine Stan Winston saying that.
Yeah. I don't think Stan Winston failed.
No. What? Okay. So I'm not going to name them, but I listened to a few kind of reviews for this movie. And they are just hateful. I mean, they are just nitpicking the littlest things. And a few of them couldn't. One guy he can't be more than 30. So he's like, he saw this movie when he was maybe 5. But he kept saying, "Oh, I thought this movie was marketed as Jurassic Park, and I just can't get over that." But it's true. Paramount they spent like $95 million on a marketing blitz. They went with Taco Bell. They went with Pepsi. Like there was a Taco Bell commercial. There was toys at the dollar. You could buy toys at these places called the dollar store, like cheaper toys.
Yeah.
And so I guess they marketed as the event of the summer. But this is more of like a Phantom or The Rocketeer. Something along those lines, right? So, I mean, did your, like, that's kind of weird, though, that people are still annoyed that it wasn't a Jurassic Park. Like, that's the marketing department's fault, not Frank Marshall's.
Well, I can't speak for how it was marketed at the time. I was 7, I think. I first heard of this film a couple of years ago. I'd never even heard of it. We did a Lambcast on our guilty pleasure films, which mine were like The Core and Daylight with Stallone. I love Daylight.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I don't like the term guilty pleasure. I feel like it should take a new meaning at the moment. Like now, my guilty pleasure would be The Usual Suspects, a film I really like but feel bad for liking. That's kind of what a guilty pleasure should be now, I think.
I should not like these people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But someone else on the show had Congo on the list, and I thought, what is this film? I sought it out and I loved it. Just the first time I watched it, because I went in expecting nothing, expecting just a terrible film, and I kind of got that at times, but I really enjoyed myself. And it's just kind of silly, where like, there's a talking gorilla with a martini. Okay, it calms her down, fine. And there's this hippo attack, great. And Ernie Hudson's being awesome. I love Ernie Hudson. But I love everyone in the cast, almost all the supporting characters. Ernie Hudson, Tim Curry, Joey Pants, they're all some of my favorite actors. So yeah. And so, John Hawkes is in there to scream and die.
Yep. That's a great scream.
It is. That's one of, like him and Bruce Campbell have two of cinema's great screams, and they're both in this film.
I started thinking about Bruce Campbell as a scream. So I don't scream queen. Is he a scream king? Scream prince?
He'll be king.
Yeah, scream king.
Yeah.
I guess he does say "Hail to the King."
He does indeed. Yes, and we do.
They do bring up Elvis in this. Ernie Hudson says that all the monkeys think they're Elvis at night.
Yeah, we played him in Bubba Hotep. Yeah.
Yep. Oh wow! You can't escape it.
Yeah.
Wait, "Hail to the King." Wow. All right, sorry. I'm
Your mind is reeling. I can feel it.
And you know how I get on, like, sometimes when I join the Lambcast podcast, how I get on tangents. So I'll have to drag myself away from that to escape. But I mean,
tangents are often the best part, though, Mark.
Yeah, you're right. And we have some pretty good ones, man. I gotta say. Do you want to hear how I first watched Congo?
Please, yeah.
So I wanted that taco. So I was 13. I wanted that taco. You know, you have the Pepsi, and what happened was, where I lived, I kind of lived in Florida, and at the time it wasn't like a big city. I guess you could call it like the country of Florida, but it wasn't like the country. I don't know, man. It was just strip malls in Florida and a lot of trees and like. Have you ever been to Florida, the backwoods?
Yes.
All right.
Not the back. I've been to Marco Island. To, and the big theme parks.
Got it. But when you drive around, you just see there's a lot of trees and country in there. So I was on the West Coast, kind of really country, and we didn't have any good theaters around us. We had a theater that I loved that would sell me tickets. Like it was like a 6 theater. That was like the biggest one we had next to us. And it would sell me R-rated tickets when I was 12. I'd go watch Time Cop. It was like my favorite place on the planet. But a place called Crossroads 8 opened. My mom and I went and bought tickets for Congo so that her and I could go see it. So we went and pre-bought tickets because we're like, we can't miss this. This theater's going to be packed. We showed up. We got like one of the last parking spots in the whole place because the whole town was like, hey, look at this new fancy thing. Like everyone shows up. We went and we sat down, got the big popcorn. It was like a big event, and like it was a fancy theater. And we watched Congo on this really big screen. I don't think I've ever been in a screen that big. And it was just such an awesome occasion. So I've always had a really soft spot for Congo. But I probably hadn't watched it since the 90s. And it just made me so happy to watch again, except for Dylan Walsh. And parachutes, why do we need those?
Figure it out.
Yeah, but and then at the end, and then they crash. Their plane crashes, and then Dylan Walsh goes, "You know what, man? I think we're gonna have to turn around."
He's like, I can't do this. I don't. I'm out. I was like, what are you gonna do? What's your plan here?
Yeah, it's such a weird. So, wait, Grant Heslov at the end, when he came running down the stairs, weren't his eyes messed with?
I don't remember. I didn't notice him dying. I know he kind of encountered a gorilla in the wood, in the jungle, and then ran into the temple.
Yeah.
And then I didn't see what happened to him after that.
He just died of fear.
Because I was watching. I recorded this on TV like a year ago. So the version I'm watching, I don't know if it was like a TV cut with the bad bits removed, which they do sometimes.
Oh.
Like the Jurassic Park TV cut gets rid of Gennaro's death on the toilet.
Oh, jeez Louise.
The best bit of the film.
Yeah.
It's not there. He just runs to the toilet. T-Rex shows up. Cut to the next scene.
Yeah.
And it's like the screenshot of him being eaten on the toilet was my background, my wallpaper on my laptop for a long time.
So he just turns around the same way like Bruce Campbell. He screams, and then he falls down some stairs, and then he just dies.
And no one cares.
Yeah.
No one seems to mention it at all. Like, Dylan Walsh is his best friend.
They're joking around at the ending. Dylan
There's
Walsh, man.
so many deaths that no one really cares about. Like, when Laura Linney finds, like, dead Charlie, there's a brief moment of, oh. But then she's, like, on to getting the diamonds and the laser and shooting everything. Which, I mean, it's a high, tense situation. She needs to get out of there. But the reason that she came was to see if Charlie, like, her former fiancé, is... There's got to be some kind of a story there. Why is he her former fiance? There's a whole other film like before this of the relationship between her and Bruce Campbell.
I think the dad got in the middle of it. I think he's right. Like he's trying to win his approval. Then he could never give her the time because he was always trying to be Joe Don Baker's son.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And she doesn't seem to want to mess around with that. She don't have time for that. And then Kahega dies, and then no one cares.
Yeah, Adewale. Yeah, Triple A. Yeah, Mr. Echo.
Yeah, he gets wiped out. But I don't know. But still, at the end of the day, it's Laura Linney wiping out gorillas. Just, I don't know, man.
That's what we're all here to see.
This movie just makes me happy. Like, it really does. I kind of dig it. And you know what I thought was pretty fun is that, so when they went to the writer, John Patrick Shanley, he had written Moonstruck, Joe versus the Volcano, and Alive. When they went to him to write the script, he read the book, and they're like, hey, so what do you think about the movie? He's like, oh, well, I kind of like that they went to this place. He did not like the book. He's like, oh, well, I think it's cool that they, went somewhere, and he had nothing good to say. And they're like, okay, you got the job. So he's like, crap, because he had worked with Frank Marshall before. And he read the book, and he basically just said, listen, I can't. He's like, I'm not gonna make this about in the book, they call him the Great White Hunter. He's just some white dude telling everybody what to do. He's like, I'm not writing this guy as a character. So that's why they cast Ernie Hudson. And that's why Ernie Hudson makes the joke about being the Great White Hunter.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty... you knew that fact?
I know, I didn't. I just, I love the casting of Ernie Hudson, and I really like his character in this. He's kind of like the Bob Peck character from Jurassic Park there.
Yeah.
Just the kind of the badass expert who's he's so cool and suave with everything.
Laid back, right? Yeah. And he just laid back the whole time.
Yeah, he's just going along with it. But then when Dylan Walsh encounters the silverback, he runs away. when Walsh has to stare down, and he turns around and everyone else is gone, and Monroe just comes out and is like, I ran away. Sorry about that. It's a real human moment. Nice.
He's just so relaxed in this movie, and I love exactly what you said when he joins Karen Gloss with the flares. Hey, that looks like fun.
I went in on that. Let's go.
And then he pulls the gun on the driver, and they take over the car, and they're actually doing what they're doing so everyone can survive. And then little Grant Heslov is trying to run away, and they save their lives, not save their lives, but they get them going where they need to go. And then Peter Elliott's like, you're a criminal. Man, Peter Elliott.
He's such a downer
it's not,
the whole way through.
It's not Dylan Walsh's fault. I guess we're just talking about the character. But yeah, he just, when he starts going after Monroe doesn't care. Yeah, I run some guns, but you're a scientist. You guys blew up the world.
Yeah.
He doesn't want his cigarette back. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't either, because he's used it to get the leech off of his groin.